An Arizona politician wants to make it illegal for landlords to deny a tenant based on the fact that they have an aggressive, vicious dog. I'm Tony, and this is Real Estate Investing and Landlord News. All right, so I have an interesting topic for you today, and it's going over this proposed bill in the state of Arizona. I used to live in Arizona, okay? I lived there for 4 years down in the Tucson area. So I know that Arizona is actually a pretty nice place, and it's pretty conservative, at least outside of the city of Phoenix, right? So this law, it's kind of surprising because it's kind of infringing upon property rights, in my opinion. So I don't know if it'll pass or not, but it is being proposed. And what they're trying to do is force landlords to accept dog breeds in their properties that previously, I guess, they were denying because they are considered more aggressive breeds. In particular, the pit bull, maybe the Rottweilers, Dobermans, etc. might be included in this. So, right now, a lot of landlords, they don't want these types of dogs in their properties. I personally own a pit bull, okay, but I also own my own home, so it's not an issue for me. But there's one thing, and I've brought this up on similar videos that I've done in the past before. My insurance specifically says in it that it won't cover me if I allow these aggressive dog breeds onto my property. So what do? I put in my lease, hey, you can't have this type of dog in the property. Now that's not my fault. It's not my fault. Like, would I allow the dogs on the property otherwise? Maybe. I'll say that, right? I personally, I don't like the idea of that, taking on that sort of liability. Somebody who has a Chihuahua doesn't present the same sort of liability as somebody who has a pit bull, especially considering the fact that a lot of tenants, they're not responsible pet owners, okay? A lot of people aren't responsible pet owners. I don't know how they are treating their pets. I don't know what they're using these pets for. I don't know if they are negligent or not, but the liability could fall back on me. So I probably wouldn't allow these aggressive dog breeds, even if my insurance said they would cover me. So, the question for you today is, wait. Before I get into the article, go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button, maybe leave a comment down below, and let me know if you would allow these aggressive dog breeds, say the insurance allowed it, right? Do you think it's worth the hassle? Really? Now, any dog can be aggressive. Keep that in mind, okay? Any dog, any cat, any pet can end up being aggressive, end up attacking somebody, and you could be liable for that, or at least the people suing you could think that you're liable for that, right? But why, in my question, would you, take on the additional liability, and why, okay? And in my personal opinion, that's just not a good idea, okay? So anyway, let's get into the article. I want to go over what the proposal in Arizona says. This article is coming from kjzz.org, and it says, Arizona bill would stop landlords from discriminating against certain dog breeds. Yeah. Discriminating. Everything now is, they're just coming after us because of our race and our dog breed, whatever, okay? Anyway, let's get into it. Arizona lawmakers advanced a bill on Monday that would stop landlords from discriminating against certain breeds of dogs, like pit bulls. For landlords who allow dogs on their properties, Senate Bill 1439 requires them to allow tenants to have any type of breed. Senator Brian Fernandez, the bill's sponsor, said the idea was brought to him by his assistant. There are several Democratic co-sponsors on the bill, plus one Republican. We recently had a client of ours who's a veteran. She actually now works with an organization that helps other veterans with housing-related issues, said Arizona Pet Project CEO Leanna Taylor. When we met her, she was living in her car. She had been there for 6 months with her 2 pit bulls because she could not find housing that would accept her and her dogs. Yeah, this is a stupid story. This is a horrible example. So somebody would rather live in their car than give up those dogs and go find housing. This is like a mentally ill person, a person who has no common sense whatsoever. If it comes down to it, between me living in my car, me making my family homeless, or me getting rid of my dog, hey, guess what? I'm sorry. I love my dog, but the dog has got to go. Okay. There's no chance. Okay. So we're talking about, somebody who's, if you're living in your car for a long period of time, it's likely that you have more issues than just, hey, I couldn't find housing because it was too expensive, or hey, I needed somewhere to keep my dog. It's probably some substance abuse or mental health issues, but that's just my personal opinion. Okay, I don't know what this lady's story is, but it seems awfully strange to me that you're going to be in somewhere where living in a car with 2 dogs. That seems crazy. So yeah, bad example of a story. But I will say that I have heard actual stories about tenants who had to give up their pets because, they had a certain breed of dog and their landlord wouldn't allow it. Okay. But here's the question, right? And, we're looking at this from the landlord's, our perspective, not from the tenant's perspective. The tenant, it is on them. It is their responsibility to abide by our leases. It is their, problem finding their own housing, if it's housing that accepts their dogs or not. It is not our job to make sure that we coddle the tenant and, if they don't want to pay their rent, we should just take the loss and make sure they always have somewhere cheap to stay and that they can tear our house apart and put big vicious dog breeds in our house. No, that is not our responsibility. Okay. If the tenant wants all that, they need to go buy a house. Okay. Go buy your own house. Then you worry about the liability. That isn't my job. And I'm so sick and tired of the government always wanting to impose new laws that have nothing to do with livability. How does it help anybody live anywhere to say, oh, well, you can have this specific breed of dog up in your property? What do I got to do next? Do I got to put up a cage for chimpanzees in the back of my property just so that the few tenants with chimpanzees can... No! Listen, it is on the tenant to find their own housing that accepts their pets if they want to keep the pets. Otherwise, do not burden the landlord with this sort of thing. Excuse me. Several animal welfare groups support the bill, but the Arizona Multi-Housing Association opposes it. The bill passed its first hearing 5-2. Senator J.D. Mesnard, a Republican from Chandler, said he's concerned that if the bill becomes law, landlords will stop allowing dogs altogether. Not sure this leads to the outcome the sponsor would hope, Mesnard said. Senator Shauna Bolick, a Republican from Phoenix, also voted no, but did not respond to a request for comment. And that's something I didn't really think about either, right? So right now, if you allow pets, if this law passes, then you might be stuck with these vicious dog breeds in your property, these aggressive dog breeds that greatly enhance your liability, okay? But if you just banned all pets, guess what? I don't think this law even addresses that issue whatsoever. Unless their law is saying now, as a landlord, you must accept all pets. And I don't think that's what this law is saying, but it is what it is, right? Now, like I said, I own a pit bull, okay? I understand that my dog, while my dog isn't aggressive, there are so many out there. Like I've run into so many, I'm a runner. I go out running every single day. And when I'm out running through the park, man, I have encountered dozens of pet owners who have aggressive pit bulls. And it's actually shocking to me just how many of them, and where they literally are like holding them back. Oh no, and they're like, no, I can't get anywhere near you because if I get near you, the dog might snap. Like, well, who the heck has a pet like that? That's insane to me. But I'm just saying, right? Anyway, let me know what you think of this whole situation down in the comments, and if you think Arizona is actually going to pass this ridiculous law.